Welcome in, everyone. Sorry, I was a little bit late. I was trying to give people wrenches. I was in YouTube trying to give people wrenches, and for some reason I can't find Grover when I go into YouTube. Who knows why that is happening? But welcome in, everyone. So welcome in Unky, Charlotte, Grover, Alison. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I think I've got that right, or all sign. I don't know. Kathy, Rochelle. Camilla, if you're in here, and everyone else who's just watching and not wanting to join in chat, welcome in. Please hit the like on your way in, always helps us out. Another one of those mornings where, once again, I came out, started up my laptop, and again, I had Jack on the screen. Welcome in, Deborah, good to see you. And again, it was one of those days. It is pouring with rain here. It is overcast. It's dreary. And I woke up and thought, am I done with this case? I'm like, you just feel really tired sometimes. And sure enough, I come in and there's Jack on my screen looking at me like, you're not stopping. So I'm here for the duration. Welcome in Hugging Demons and Brandy. Of course, the other one that came up on my screen was this little rat bag, which, not surprising. He always has to be centre of attention. So, welcome in Teresa and Deborah. Looks like we're stuck here for. I shouldn't say stuck here, but it looks like we're here for the duration. How can you look at that face and not? Yeah, you're in the right chat, Alison. You are, and welcoming Kim. Okay, just because I need something to give me a bit of energy to get started, and I haven't got any clips prepared. I was busy working on other stuff last night. I was working on another analysis video for Malaya's interview. So if you haven't caught that, I dropped that one last night. Worth looking at. I think not everyone agrees with me, and that's a good thing, because I don't want people to just blindly agree with me on things. I want people to think for themselves. And it also helps me keep my ideas in check, helps me make sure that I'm not bringing any bias to what I'm doing. Onka. Cool. I had a friend who was Unky, so I have to learn that. Onka, is that more correct? I'm going to make myself a note so I get that right, because I hate not getting it right. Yeah, anyway. Okay, let's get a bit of energy into this before we jump in.
Well, I met Professor Dan down at the county store. He said, I've got a brain map and a whole lot more. He had a 5-eye word and a shining new grin. Straight from the online thesaurus, he was cashing them in. He said, vivid means cheap and opaque means clear. I said, Dan, that ain't right. He said, I learned it this year. He talked so slick, you'd swear he knew the town, till you listen real close and the meaning fell down. He could tell you all about a polygraph test, every wire, every needle, every puff in the chest, what the sweat on your palm means, what the blink of your eye, how the little machine knows if you're telling a lie. He'd describe it in detail, every minuscule part, but the facts went missing like a hole in his heart. He was accurate sounding, but that's where it ends. fast. A mile of good spelling in a yard of no sense. And he leaned right in like he had the cure for every old problem a person endures. Psychobabble, he'd murmur, I know how it goes. Then he'd trip on the jargon from his head to his toes. Professor Dan, oh, Professor Dan. He reads one page and he thinks he can. Professor Dan, oh, Professor Dan. All that noise, no understand. Oh, Professor Dan. Professor Dan. He's an expert on hounds and the scent in the air, on police line chalk and a flashlight glare, on search and rescue where the mud runs deep, on the way a lost soul breaks and the secret won't keep. He'll talk addiction, trauma, ADHD, like every psychiatrist calls him up for free. Doc, what's your advice? He'll say with a grin, then he'll answer himself before the truth gets in. Professor Dan, oh, Professor Dan. He reads one page and he thinks he can. Professor Dan, oh, Professor Dan. All that noise, no understand. Oh, Professor Dan. Professor Dan. Well, he's got every answer in a digital pile, but the more he explains it, the less it feels like he's got confidence, sure, and a dazzling pose. But he's mixing up wisdom with the words he chose. Now he's 10 feet taller in the key of G, still wrong as a fence post, plain as can be. He's a master of nothing, but he sure loves the sound of his own big opinions circling around. So if you need a lesson in what not to do, call Professor Dan and he'll prove it to you. He's full of big talk and a borrowed brain. Every word sounds smart, but it lands in the drain.
Welcome in everyone else who's come in while I've been playing that. Welcome in Hugging Demons. And I think I just missed you on my little bit of modding up. So I mentioned yesterday in Maddie's live stream that I was just going to basically follow Sunny's example. And this is something that a lot of other channels do. And basically, I've just gone in and modded up a bunch of people who are here quite often. It's basically, you know, no huge expectations. I don't expect you to be here like every live stream or anything like that. It's just a case of if you're in here, it just gives you a bit of power to whack a troll, essentially. So gives you the ability to time people out if they are being particularly offensive in chat. Obviously here we respect everyone's opinions, but sometimes, well, you know, the people that you've been here long enough to know the sort of people that we don't like in here. If they are not being nice to people, causing issues, then you know, knock them out. Grover, you don't appear in YouTube for some reason when I go in. I'm not sure why that is, but I'll get onto that. Okay, so back to Daniel. Honestly, I think after getting through this, I really do want to go to, you know, talking about Belinda or something a little bit less tedious. Yeah, the chat is usually pretty awesome and safe. And apologies if I've missed anyone this time around with giving you a wrench. Certainly, you know, there'll be plenty more wrenches handed out because I'm not going to go with the exclusive wrench type thing. You know, I do have a few kind of, I'm not sure what the managing moderators or whatever it is who have a little bit more power. But, you know, okay, I'm going to put Jack up for just another minute, just a reminder of why we're all here. It seems like he comes up every time on my screen. I've got hundreds and hundreds of photos on this MacBook, and yet Jack's always the one that comes up for some reason. It's always that photo. Okay, let's get into Daniel again. And again, this is Daniel. Classic Daniel pulling out all the stops, essentially. So let's have a little bit of this to just jump straight in.
How so my thing has always been is when your mother came out and started speaking about her timeline on I think it was with Allie, and stuff like that, it didn't make sense. It just didn't
with Allie.
Was it Allie, the redhead?
Yeah, I can speak on some of that. That was a 2.5-hour interview, and it was broiled down to 8 minutes. And my mother got furious at Allie because they cut out so much that the public should have had.
I know I played that at the end of yesterday's live stream, but I wanted to run it back. I would love to see more of I did a video last night of Malaya. It's about an hour long. I dropped that one last night. Another analysis, just her Friday morning, basically calling out the fact that, for starters, some of her narrative is Daniel's almost verbatim. Hi, Geraldine. I'm not sure if I even greeted you earlier, and I'm sorry. Yeah, calling out the far too similar instances in her narrative, where she's, adapted it or changed it, at least, so it sounds again like Daniel's. But there are a lot of other things that I spoke about in that as well. So that was I did that as a video so that I could do a real, one of my deep dive kind of analyses where I look at the body language as well, and just, call all that out. So, yeah, tonight's Daniel, or today's Daniel. I do want to do a live stream where I go through Malaya's "Please Bring Me Home" statement again, because I'm not sure if I ever actually went through that. But in light of this latest interview, I would like to do that. So maybe I'll do that one morning. We can take a break from Daniel and have a look at Malaya's "Please Bring Me Home" thing. But today we're stuck on Daniel. Yeah, I know I did this one yesterday, or this part of it yesterday, but I just kind of wanted to replay it just a little bit. And I would really love it if these CBC and that would play some more of these interviews that they did. I mean, they've got them there. Why not just edit them and throw out a little bit more? There must be something worthwhile in those interviews that they can put out.
And I understand the powers of editing, because I did all those interviews and not once was there something nice I said about Lily and Jack contained in those interviews.
Yep. Blame the media, Daniel. It wasn't you, was it? It was, they were like, we've got this stepfather who's speaking out, so, let's make him look like a complete arse by leaving out the bits where he pleads for Lily and Jack, and leaving out the bits when he is nice about Lily and Jack, and instead we'll play the bits where the news reporter has to prompt him to ask people to keep an eye out for Lily and Jack. And, we'll play the bits where he's doing the fake crying over Jack loves bugs and worms and things. Like, does he really think we're going to believe this? Let's play it back a little bit.
The powers of editing, because I did all those interviews and not once was there something nice I said about Lily and Jack contained in those interviews. It was always just them clickbait headlines where 100% the cadaver dogs are not going to find anything, but you don't see the pretense of that conversation. You only.
Oh, just give it up, Daniel. Honestly. Yeah, my eyes are rolling as well. I noticed too, just after playing that first bit, when he said, not once was there something nice said. Not once was there something nice I said about Lily and Jack contained in those interviews. That's a really awkward way of saying it, but it's evasion. He's not actually saying that he ever said anything nice. He's basically just saying, well, there was never anything nice in those. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, I can't decide whether we're likely to hear from him in the next week or so, or whether he's just going to go to ground. The media would have lapped it up. I mean, what he seems to forget is that in those early days, in the first couple of weeks when he was doing his media tour, people were sucked in by him. So the news stations would have absolutely lapped it up if he ever pled for Lily and Jack, or if he was ever saying nice things. So you are so spot on. Yep. You know what? Where's Hemi when you need them? Like, honestly, we need Hemi with the eyes going right now. Seriously. No. Exactly. You're so right about that, Ernestine. So right. Never. It's always been about Daniel. And now he's trying to convince us that that's just about editing. Even on these live streams. Like, this is over an hour into Sonny's live stream. And he's complaining about the media not playing any clips of him saying nice things about Lily and Jack. Well, whereabouts in this live stream so far has he said nice things about Lily and Jack? Because we're in. Like, where has he said nice things in this one? This has not been edited. Yeah. Exactly. And that was only at the start with the Jack likes bugs and dinosaurs, and Lily likes dresses, and oh god, I just had a flashback to Don Wells going, she likes to twirl, or whatever it is. No, that's fine. That's what we do here. You know us. We go off topic frequently. Not once. But not only that, in the part that I looked at in my analysis last night, she's like flip-flopping between she wants an Amber Alert and then something to do with them being in the woods. And, you know, which is it, Malaya? Which do you believe? I just feel that both of them are pushing an agenda. I think you're totally right, Brandy Indy. Like, it is. It's all about the agenda, and it's got nothing to do with Lily and Jack. That's what upset me. It just felt very shallow. There's nothing there that I could go away from and go, yeah, that tells me a bit more about Lily. You know, I learnt more about Lily from Belinda than I have from Malaya. I've learnt more about Jack from Belinda than I have from Malaya. And she didn't get to see them for the last 2 years of their life. Yeah, yeah. That pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? Yeah. The part I was looking at last night, it really felt like that, you know, she'd sat down and gone, these are the mistakes that Daniel made. These are the things that I need to make sure I don't do in my interview. The thing that stood out for me was the attempt at masking. Like, some of those little micro expressions that were happening were so minuscule that if you weren't watching in that 1 second, you'd miss them. I agree. They definitely would have given her the questions ahead of time, and it really felt like it was scripted and rehearsed. And, you know, the production team were there to cheer her on. Welcome in, Shirkers. Good to see you here. It's just disappointing after 15 months that that's what we get. Yeah, I felt, and it was really fascinating to see that flicker on her face, to see that reaction after already talking about Daniel and Janie being angry and with Malaya over calling 911. Like, it seems like all three of them are confirming that Malaya was not meant to call 911 at that time. And it's interesting. It really is. Oh, wow, Ernestine, I'm so sorry. Cancer is such a horrible thing. Yeah. I can sort of see, I'm guessing Angela probably wants to leave it open for more interviews. But it really, really bugged me that there were plenty of opportunities for some really good follow-ups. But there were no probing questions. There were no follow-ups on anything. There were a few times when I was just like, oh, come on, you know, I know that you've got that follow-up there in your head, Angela. What the heck are you doing? Exactly. Just what do you mean by that? Would have been a good step. And all the evasion with I can't remember, or oh, it's too traumatic to talk about. But she's so calm when she's talking about it. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Ernestine. When my dad died of cancer, there was that feeling, a bit of a sense of relief, that side of it was over. So yeah, I understand. But you know, love to your family, and make sure you hug each other extra hard. It's never an easy thing to go through, that's for sure. Yeah, no, look, Malaya didn't do herself any favours. I really did not feel that she was doing anything worthwhile, really. Thank you, Shirkers. Okay. And so we've got Daniel claiming that the 100% the cadaver dog's not going to find anything. That's just taken out of context. Let's just hear that again, because, you know, who believes anything he says?
And not once was there something nice I said about Lily and Jack contained in those interviews. It was always just them clickbait,
I get what you're saying.
headlines where 100% the cadaver dogs are not going to find anything, but you don't see the pretense of that conversation. You only see those few select words, and they don't represent the conversation or the interview properly.
Let me see. Angela asked him, do you believe that the cadaver dogs are going to find anything? And he said, 100%. The cadaver dogs are not going to find anything. Can someone tell me what are the context we could actually apply there? Oh, I know. He's got the big words going again. He just missed. He misses. Every time he misses. It's like shoot and miss. He really, he doesn't get it, does he? He's trying to wow people with his intelligence, but he throws these words in that aren't the right context every time. Definitely shooting blanks. Yeah, maybe he doesn't know what 100% means. Good point. You gotta wonder. Yep. Yeah, CBC need him. Maybe he could write Angela's questions for her, because, you know, I'm sure she'd like to use his big words. Oh, dear. I shouldn't laugh at him so much, but, you know, at this point in time, why not?
And I've always been used for the purposes that they have of money generation and generating clicks and views for their websites or for the news organizations in general.
Right now, I would love to have one of the many, many clips of Belinda where she's talking about being so grateful for the exposure for Lily and Jack's case. Welcome in, Sky Painter. Good to see you here. I'm sorry. I can't even speak right now. That's brilliant. His precision was so catastrophically inadequate that the proverbial broadside of a barn would be quite safe. Okay, try to breathe now. Yeah, so apparently, the only reason the media do stories and interview Daniel is because they just want to get clicks. It's got nothing to do with Jack and Lily. Poor little Daniel. Like, is he really that delusional? He thinks everything is about him. Yeah. I mean, hello, what's the point? Why do you think you are doing these interviews, Daniel? It's not about making you a celebrity. It's about bringing awareness to Lily and Jack. Like, seriously. And you're complaining. If you really felt that was the case, why did you do the interviews in the first place, Daniel? Oh, yeah. He is always the victim. He's like, 1000% ironclad the victim. Sorry, I just thought I'd throw that in just because we haven't had that for a while. But note again, he can't just go with standard language that is actually going to be the appropriate language here. Instead, he's saying, I was basically just, they harvested me for views. Like, who says that? I'm going to harvest you for views. Again, not the right context, Daniel. Yeah, I can think of plenty ones like that. Poor little Daniel. Life's so tough when you're Daniel Martell. Oh dear. Oh, and I was watching. Oh, Sonny did a follow-up live stream with Belinda where there was questions being answered. It's kind of long, but the last hour or so, Belinda's not in it. But Sonny showed a photo, and I want to get a better shot of it. Sonny showed a photo of Brad has put a massive freaking wall out the front of his house now to basically block out the Mackenzies and the Martells. And I so have to do a song for Brad about the Great Wall of Pictou County because I just think it's hilarious. Welcome in, Chips. Good to see you. I know. How classic is that? How could someone not know who he was? He does. He thinks he's a celebrity. I tell you what, he'll... When this case is finally prosecuted and when he gets his own special room, he'll be a celebrity in there, I can tell you. Exactly. He's the one that kept coming out because he had to control the narrative. That is the most fitting one for him completely. That you're so vain. Yeah, she was actually thinking of Daniel when she sang it. It is spot on. That is the exact song for Daniel. He is. I agree. Oh dear. It would be nice to live in that sort of delusional world, wouldn't it? Just so nice.
I was basically just, they harvested me for views and, money generation.
Right. Tint says,
Sonny just goes, right. What else can you say? Like, yeah. Why did she stay with this guy? Oh dear. He must be really good with the love bombing. Yeah, I've got that song stuck in my head too. If it wasn't that I'd get a copyright strike and my whole live stream would go down, I'd love to put it on. Yeah, he was harvested. The media harvested him for views. No, not for views, for money generation, sorry. Because, that's what they do. They harvest people. I know, like, but the other thing that comes to mind for me is like organ harvesting, and that just freaks me out. It's just not, he tries so hard to throw these words in, but he just, again, like someone said before, couldn't hit the side of a barn. Yeah, he was really doing that whole tour of look at me thing at the beginning. And you had, people like Sonny who were well and truly sold on it. And everyone was like, yeah, look at Daniel, he's a hero. And look at Malaya, she's hiding. And now we start to understand things a bit better. You are so right, Teresa. If the pod people took him, they really could have replaced him with a better version. That is for sure. We definitely don't need another Daniel. One's enough. Oh dear. I'm going to be upsetting people on both sides of the fence here, aren't I?
It's, and he did say this the other day, by the way. Apparently, Shanann and Malaya, whatever, Cheryl and Cindy, they had spoken with Wade. I guess they saw him somewhere or whatever. He says that we shake hands and are at peace now. I took down all the video and post related to Wade for respect, and says that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. It was just face to face, and they didn't want to have any conflict or make a scene of any kind. So,
I do recall hearing a story about them cornering Tint after a court date or something, but I don't know. It's interesting that Tint has apparently taken down the Wade stuff, but it's still out there. I mean, I've got it on my channel. And Charmaine's got a full version, like a longer version on her channel. So, yeah, I don't know. It is, I love this picture of them. I don't know what they're looking, I don't know what Lily's looking at, but something is exciting. And Jack's like, yeah, what is that? He's like, so big deal. They're too cute, though. Aiming at junk food. Nah, they'd end up with food poisoning. Oh, dear. I've got to try and tone down the snark a little bit.
Oh, that's probably why they kiss and made up.
Now,
because at a vigil or a search, I mean, it would have been at a search, right?
It would have been at a search, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So you're not going to cause conflict or any type of interaction that would be negative during a search for two missing children. And how do we know Tint didn't even record that conversation? We have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think Tint actually recorded that conversation because from my understanding, it was not something that was planned. It was that they saw him there and were like, hey, stop, we want to talk. This interview was done in May. It was done after the one with Charmaine, which was done on the anniversary. And then this was done, I can't remember whether it was a few days or a week afterwards. I'll welcome in Fred. 2 months. Can you believe that? 2 months, Jack would have been turning 6. End of October. It's heartbreaking when you think about it that way. And these adults that were supposed to be protecting these children have spent 15 months lying and deflecting and blaming each other.
We've already seen his track record of things he'd done in the past. So why should we think any differently?
Well, I was going to say
he cannot let it go with Tint, can he? Like, he really doesn't like Tint. He's probably paranoid that Tint's going to record him.
I mean, sorry, I saw Belinda's comment there, but Daniel, do you? Okay, so again, there's only so many things.
I'm sorry, I hadn't actually picked up on that huge sigh from Sunny before. I've got to replay that.
Things he'd done in the past. Well, so why should we think any differently?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, sorry, I saw Belinda's comment there, but Daniel, do you? Okay, so again, there's only so many things.
History repeats.
Sunny has my sympathy. She really does. Welcome in, Karen. Good to see you. I mean, this is probably about an hour and a half into the live stream. I know he's such a hypocrite when he comes out with stuff, isn't he? This is after, earlier in this live stream, he's talking about how he's a new person and he's changed and he's learnt from everything because, you know, let's throw in all this therapy speak. But when it comes to Tint, nah. You know, past actions, that's who he is. He's not going to change. He probably does. Oh dear. He does not realize. I think a few weeks ago someone called him an oxymoron. And honestly, they're correct. He truly is. And he's probably looking that up right now if he's listening. But moving on.
It's itself, Sonny. We can only go off past events, right? He's done so many slippery, greasy things that we have to expect that from him.
I'm going to play that bit again. Hi, Rita. I'm going to play that for everybody's benefit who might have heard it, not heard it, just in case we think that Daniel and all that psychobabble is actually the real deal.
During a search for two missing children.
Oh, too far, but anyway.
And how do we know Tint didn't even record that conversation? We have no idea. We've already seen his track record of things he'd done in the past. So why should we think any differently?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, sorry, I saw Belinda's comment there, but Daniel, do you? Okay, so again, there's only so many things.
History repeats itself, Sonny. We can only go off past events, right? He's done so many slippery, greasy things that we have to expect that from him. He didn't suddenly change his way overnight. If he's after the 150,000, you can only expect what he's done in the past to shape his future.
Wow, Daniel. That's so insightful of you. So insightful. We can only go off past events. He's done so many slippery, greasy things that, you know, we have to expect that from him. Yep. I'm glad you can see that sort of thing, Daniel. I'm really, really glad that you can see that sort of thing. And I'm just making myself a note because sorry, I just had to make a note because I do want to come back to that after this live stream and do a clip or a short on that. Put that alongside him saying how much he's changed and he's learned and, you know, he's grown. Because, you know, which is it, Daniel? Yeah. That is 100% Daniel summed up. Although you used the words in the right context, so you didn't quite sum Daniel up completely. Sorry, I shouldn't be so nasty to Daniel, but right now, this particular live stream with Sunny just got under my skin so much. Oh, I know. That huge sigh from her said it all, really. I mean, when this first came out, I think I listened to about 15 minutes and I just got so disgusted I turned it off. I was just livid. I didn't know what I wanted to. I just was really angry listening to this live stream, listening to him trying to be Mr. Virtuous. So, yeah, you will have to forgive me if I am snarking it up big time, but this was a ridiculous interview or live stream or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I was going to say, so me and Tint have talked over the time, here and there. Love his the little cat that he had, Mimi, on there. So, I get your feelings about him. And the thing is, I don't know Tintworth Adam. He apologized because he shared something from a thing of ours in a Facebook group or something like that. He did. And then of course I found out about it. But my thing is that, again, it doesn't matter if actually it's Tint or anyone else. If people are trying to get information, doing whatever they do, I always want to try to look at everything. I do, even if you don't feel I don't. I do.
I agree with Sunny, but my biggest concern from Tint doing the recording of Wade. Now we all learnt from that, but at the same time, a lot of that information came out later in the documents anyway. And my concern is that in the future, other content creators look at that approach and think, let's do that. And it eventually becomes the norm to try and secretly record people who are connected to a case. And suddenly people's privacy goes out the window. Wade wasn't a suspect or anything. And I look at Bullhorn Betty, and she got that encouragement with Gabby Petito's case. No one had heard of her before Gabby's case happened. And she turned up outside the front of the laundry's house with her big bullhorn and, yelling, "Where's Gabby?" blah, blah, blah. And she got attention because people were so riled up over that case. And now, she's pretty much turned into a stalker with all these cases, to the point where people are taking her to court over harassment. Yeah, it was good to hear the things, but down the track, I just hope it's not going to lead to, more of that sort of behaviours. Yeah. When you think about it, it must have been hard for Wade to be in that situation where he probably couldn't say a lot of those things to Cindy because it was her daughter. So, yeah, I thought you were saying can't figure out. The way I see it was, this was a stranger who Wade wasn't going to see again. This was a stranger who Wade thought he was someone who'd just been out searching for the children. And being Cindy's partner, a lot of the things that he said, he probably didn't have anyone to use as a soundboard. So I think it was just a case of Tint just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and he opened up that pathway, and Wade just was like, okay, well, I'm just going to good to see you, Summer Breeze. I hope your battery lasts as well. Yeah, Betty doesn't know when to stop. That is her problem. It did. He just kind of let go. He just had so much to say. And Tint did keep redirecting him back to talking about it as well. I mean, you could turn around and say, well, bad luck for Wade for saying all this stuff to a stranger. But I think the first person that showed any interest in hearing Wade's side of it was going to get all that. Oh, I know. Yeah. It is. That is Daniel to a T. 100%. Oh dear. Anyway, we'll keep going with this.
But everybody should stay in the confines of the law and the Privacy Acts put in place.
Really, Daniel? Everyone should stay in the confines of the law and the Privacy Acts put in place. He's really good with this advice, isn't he? Yeah. And that's one of my big concerns, because Wade said things that would have caused tension between him and Cindy. And, you know, when we're all clamoring for information and Tint goes, hey, I got information. At what cost? Yep. Honestly, that's a really good point. You know, as far as I'm concerned, when these babies went missing, everyone who had something to say, had some knowledge about the case, should have been screaming out at the top of their lungs. So that is a good point. I mean, the silence. Cindy, her grandchildren are missing. And what have we had from her in the last 15 months? 30 seconds of audio where we don't even see her face, but we get to see her hands. Like, now I have no expectations for like Hayden to come out and speak, because he's still a kid essentially. He's only just turned like 19 or something. But the other adults in this case who know these children and are hiding, sitting back and not saying a word. So true. Yeah, he will learn the meaning of that, hopefully. Yeah. I would love to hear some more from Wade's daughter. I know she went quiet pretty quickly. But I think her and Wade have heard a lot of things just from being there. And I think they could enlighten us some more if they wanted to. Anyway, let's hear some more about Daniel and his confinement.
Or anyone else. If if people are trying to get information, doing whatever they do, I always want to try to look at everything. I do, even if you don't feel I don't. I do.
But everybody should stay in the confines of the law and the privacy acts put in place.
That is true. I mean, like I said, it's nothing that I would do personally, but in saying that, I'm still glad myself that I got to listen to Wade's thoughts, because to me, his thoughts probably represented, I felt like
they represented character, right? Your thoughts represent your character.
Well, at the end of the day,
what does that even mean, Daniel? Your thoughts represent your character. And no shit, Sherlock. But what exactly are you trying to mean by that? I don't think he does have a valid driver's license. Oh dear. Hard bumpy car ride. Oh, I would have thought it'd be nice and smooth. I always think of, if you're going on a drive, I kind of think, nice smooth driving. Yeah, exactly. That exactly what Sunny is saying. Thank you for putting it that way, because I was trying to, while I was listening to her, I was trying to go through it in my head in terms of why, as much as I disagree with how it was got, I have no problem with talking about it. So yeah, exactly. What Sunny is trying to say is that, yeah, it was an underhanded trick by Tint, but now that it's out there, then you can't put it back. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the truths that come out. And since that audio came out, one thing after another has been confirmed. I mean, there's nothing from that audio that in the many, many months since that's come out, there's nothing there. Oh, it's probably been out for a year now. There's nothing there that has been debunked. So this is one of the few instances of someone giving information freely, not realizing how freely they were giving it, and it has been something that's been beneficial. Oh yeah, exactly. That's the thing. This audio from Tint, from Tint and Wade, really didn't make Daniel look good. And he's not a fan. He's not going to give it up.
Right. This is the whole thing about this case, Daniel, is pretty much you don't know which end is up or truthful anymore. The Malaya's corner side, again, it's because it's not like, oh, Daniel's side to me or Malaya's side, actually. It's Jack and Lily's side. It truly is. Now, so if people want to be Malaya lovers and all that shit, go to town, help them out, whatever. All I know is that these two children deserve answers for what happened to them. And there's only so many scenarios. So again, I'm not a family member, right? But this whole case has been, this whole case has just been turned into.
But it draws everyone as an individual to being a family member, right? Because
he can't help it. He really can't help himself. He's got to try and sound like he's a freaking expert on everything. And he's not. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because it was before the documents. There were still a lot of people who were huge Daniel fans. And who was still selling but Daniel's the only one speaking for the children. So to suddenly get this audio from Wade this was the first time we'd heard anything about any sort of violence in the home. I think so. It might have been that there might have been maybe the Globe and Mail article. I know we already knew about the CPS stuff because that article was dropped pretty early on. But the stuff like, Daniel encouraging his boy to bully Jack and stuff like that, that sort of stuff. There's a lot that hadn't come out at that point. Okay. It did. It was the confirmation of what people had been talking about exactly. I kind of, I don't know. I listen to some of this crap that Daniel comes out with, and I just think, like, what? I'm just going to run that back a little bit. Yeah. I think it was that point when I became a little bit less guarded about my commentary in this case, because Wade had basically confirmed what most of us were thinking. No, not most of us at that point. I think I was still getting a lot of pushback from people who weren't happy with my criticism of Daniel. 100%. 100%. Was it this one or was it? I'm not sure if it was in Sunny's live stream or Charmaine's live stream. There was something where something triggered him and he got angry, and it was really quick. And I remember saying in my live stream that just gives us a glance of what he's capable of. Oh, Brandy, bless you. You have 6 dogs in total. I'm guessing they don't all sleep on your bed then, because you would have no room. I know. I was getting so much pushback because I came into this case because I saw that interview with Daniel when he was fake crying in front of the camera, and that sealed the deal for me. But the problem was you had so many other content creators who were singing Daniel's praises. Look at Daniel. He's the only one speaking out for the children. Look at Malaya. How horrible is she? She's such a horrible mother because she's run away and hiding. And I did get a lot of people quite upset with me early on in the case they thought I was attacking Daniel when he was like the hero of the case. When I did my comparison with him and Ian Huntley, that didn't go down well. But, welcome in, Brian. Good to see you here. But, now people are actually seeing the real Daniel. How is Rocky now, Summer Breeze? I hope he is improving. I did see in your email that he's getting better. I know. There was a point there when I was like, especially because we were still knee deep in Maddie's case, and there was a point there where I was like, if everyone is going to be supporting Daniel, I'm not sure if I can keep covering this case, because it was nauseating. the looking at things that have been said and translating them in a way to put him up on a higher pedestal. And I was like, are you guys blind? Oh, good. Rocco was better this morning. Good to hear that. Thank you for sharing that, Summer Breeze. It is the same patterns every time. And, you know, I recognize that with cases like this, there's always going to be locals who come into it who've not followed other cases. So when we're talking about things that are so blatantly obvious to us, then people are like, what's wrong with you? Why are you being so nasty? Yeah, oh, definitely. The two things that clued me in with this case was Daniel's crying interview and Malaya. Malaya with the pain and sorrow, and also with the him, my partner Daniel, like could not spit her words out. That showed me straight away where this case was headed. And 15 months on, it's exactly what we were looking at. I just wish that it wasn't 15 months. I wish there was some movement happening in this case. Like, how much longer do we have to wait? And I know I've said that we can expect that with Daniel's stuff in court, we're not going to see anything till after that. But I just wish we could fast forward the case somehow. I know. It's so alarming. It's like they all have the same acting book that they study out of. And none of them are convincing.
And there's only so many scenarios. So again, I'm not a family member, right? But this whole case has been, well.
Nice work there, Sonny. So after Daniel saying it draws everyone as an individual to being a family member, which is just complete utter BS. It doesn't. Because that would imply that means that we're Daniel's family or we're Malaya's family. I'll go back a bit. I'll just go back a little squidge. So he's come out with saying that, you know, that the children deserve answers. And Daniel's going, yeah, you know, it draws everyone into being a family member. Well, it doesn't. Because none of us want to be family members with Daniel or Malaya. Yes, we feel like Lily and Jack have become a part of us, but we're not a part of any of their families. And Sonny's basically called him out on that very subtly, but, you know, quite well. Me too. When just listening to Belinda on these last two live streams with Sonny, it's just so painful to just hear how exhausted she is, to hear how much this is affecting her, and to hear of the hatred that's being thrown at her. Every day I think of Belinda and Chelsea, of, you know, and I do need to message Belinda again. It's been a little while. And I know she's probably not listening to as much content at the moment because hopefully she's just giving herself a bit of a break and a bit of a chance to breathe. But I must touch base with her again and just send some love. Yeah, me too. Because at the moment, all this attempt to spin a narrative from both sides, the whole the gaslighting, the changing the stories, all the manipulation, it just, Yep. Now here's Daniel bitching and moaning and claiming that the media are using him to sell a story. Belinda is just getting so much venom, so much nastiness. Well, venom, nastiness, same thing, but you know what I mean. Just the negativity that is being slung at her and Chelsea, the content creators blocking them from commenting on their channels, and she still keeps coming out. And, she made a comment on one of those live streams with Sunny, and she was being self-depreciating. But to me, it just came across as, I was like, I wish you were my grandmother. She's like, I'm not the cupcake baking grandmother. I'm the grandmother that'll go out in the garden with you and dig worms or something like that. And I thought, yeah, that's a grandmother that I would like. Now, I must admit, I used to love every time we went to Nan's place, there was always fresh scones. And she'd always put on a little, afternoon tea for us. And we went every week. And, her sponge cakes. But the thought of having a grandmother who'd, go out and do stuff with you outside in the backyard, like, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, that just makes me want to cry. How dare they? I know people have criticised Cody, but Cody hasn't done anything wrong in this case. Now, we have Daniel and Malaya claiming mental health issues. And yet people are, on behalf of Daniel and Malaya, attacking Cody because he's got mental health issues and his mental health issues are real. And it's just not on. It's not on. I've got to the point where there's very few content creators that I watch when it comes to this case anymore. Small potatoes. Yep. I just think Cody's got his regrets. What father wouldn't have his regrets in a case like this? We know Cody is really hurting. We know Cody... Well, I hope to God Cody never comes out and talks. Because there's too many nasty people out there. But, this is affecting Cody as well. Just because he's not out here pushing a narrative. These were his children. He thought that he was doing the right thing. He thought that he didn't have anything to offer them. And, you know, they're his children. So someone who's not even related to Lily and Jack coming out and attacking the father of these babies who had nothing to do with their disappearance. I'm sorry, but that is the most despicable action that a person can do. And, you know, I try to be careful. I try not to, you know, I try very hard not to call out other content creators. But, you know, when it comes to attacks on the family of these children who had nothing to do with their disappearance, I draw the line there. And I have to speak out because, you know, people need to do better. That's not why we're here. That doesn't do anything to help find Lily and Jack. That doesn't do anything to help get justice for Lily and Jack. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Belinda will speak to anyone who will have her on her channel. I've spoken to Belinda. She's more than welcome to come and chat on my channel anytime. Although I also don't want her to stretch herself too thinly. I mean, we all love hearing from Belinda. But, you know, we still want Belinda to be intact at the end of all this too. Anyway, moving on from this. Actually, just a momentary break, I think, just to lighten the mood just a moment.
So tall, the cars are parked and watching me, they speed away when I step out the door. They take my pics and videos. so I'll let them suffer.
Thought that was just something to lighten things up. You nailed it, Grover. I always get teary listening to Belinda. If anything, I get angry when I listen to Daniel or Janie or Malaya speaking. Huge, huge difference. Thanks, Geraldine. There's more songs in the pipeline, I have to admit. It's my way of just doing something with my brain to just relax a bit. I know. There has to be some way of getting the AI to do a less disturbing version of that. I agree with you 100%. Oh dear. Yep. Oh, far out. Okay, let's get back to this.
Side, actually, it's Jack and Lily's side. It truly is. Now, so if people want to be Malaya lovers and all that shit, go to town, help them out, whatever. All I know is that these two children deserve answers for what happened to them, and there's only so many scenarios. So again, I'm not a family member, right? But this whole case has been this whole case has just been turned into.
But it draws everyone as an individual to being a family member, right? Because we all have the same aspect of what we want as Lily and Jack to return home safely. So we're all one big family, but there's divides, right? I can't ever be pro Malaya at this point because look at my life. Like look what everything that's happened. It's just nothing but false claims and lies.
And you're going to blame that on Malaya, are you, Daniel? Whose false claims and lies are you exactly talking about, Daniel? Because Malaya has been pretty damn quiet for the last 15 months. You're the one who's been doing the talking. And every time you come out and speak, your stories are different. Yes, please do hit the like button, people. I know these drones shaking their heads no, like, hey, come down. Like, seriously. And he's got the goal to throw shade on other people for exactly what he does. Like, look at my life. Poor Daniel. Let's get the violins out. Oh my gosh. I just had this vision in my head of a drone playing a violin. I don't know where that came from. That's just insane. Clearly, it does my head in listening to Daniel too much, I think.
Yeah, I can't. One second, Daniel. And I want to say this again, okay? I did not fall off the fucking turnip truck, and I'm not a dumbass idiot, okay? At the end of the day, I hate it when people say stuff like this, in a sense, like, Sonny, are you swallowing all this bullshit? As if, Daniel, I guess I'm just taking it all in and starting to believe every word you're saying.
Welcome in, Deafening Silence. Good to see you in here. Oh yeah, the crap that he comes out is just insane. Yep, spot on. Now I normally edit out the side bits when it comes to these sort of interviews before I go through them, but I just had to play that because, especially just coming out of Sunny's mouth, the way she says it, it's just, you know, so classic. No, she didn't fall off the turnip truck. Didn't turn off the turnip. Oh, I can't even say it. Yeah. That's the thing. He sounds like he believes himself. Nobody else believes him, but he believes himself. It's just madness.
Not true. I'm just letting Daniel speak. I still will have my own thoughts about this case. What I'm waiting for is for Jack and Lily and the RCMP to give us those answers. We don't absolutely know the answers of what happened. We can assume, we can think, but we don't know. So I'm not stupid enough here to sit there and go, oh yeah, Daniel's speaking now. I've just reverted all my thoughts. Just like Daniel, like I said, from some of the things I said too, it's like, you know, like it would be just idiotic to sit here and think that people that just because I'm allowing you to speak like Charmaine did, that somehow we're brain dead idiots that don't still have our own thoughts about this case, or just to try to be respectful, because you're like Charmaine said, and like it's true, you know, Daniel, you're not going to come up here if I said, okay, fucking idiot, get your ass up here, like
I love when Sunny goes off like this. We do need a new metaphor. Yeah, I don't even know if I was born at night or through the day. You know, when you're the fourth kid, your mum doesn't really keep records, and she couldn't really remember any of that. So I don't even know what time of day I was born. But yeah, no, I wasn't born yesterday, that's for sure. I just love hearing Sunny when she just gets going like this. Because people underestimate her. They hear this sweet, sunny voice when she's talking to Daniel, but they don't hear the things like that massive sigh when she was just getting so exasperated with him. They don't hear the moments when she's just so speechless that she's got 20 million parts of words coming out before she can finally get a sentence out. So, you know, yeah, go Sunny. I mean, yeah. Same with me. Just because I've got ADHD doesn't mean I'm stupid. It's unreal. I know people get upset and they think that, I mean, I for a while there thought that Charmaine was very pro Daniel. But then when I paid more attention, I could see that she was doing exactly the same as Sunny. She was just basically getting him to talk, because that's what we all want. We want, the more he talks, the more he shoves his foot in his mouth. He's not capable of coming out and talking without further incriminating himself. So, you know, kudos to Sunny and kudos to her for calling this out.
Fuck off. You know, obviously not. But, you know, when you said it, I thought to myself, you know, Charmaine said something the other day, which was fine. And she made a comment about, you know, hopefully one day we can all sit down and, or, you know, have I think like a live like this where we're just talking. And so Daniel, to me, I'm asking him a question and he's answering it, you know, regardless if you guys believe him or what he's saying or not he's saying, or if I believe what he's saying or not what he's saying. Bottom line is, the questions that I have, most of them can only come from Daniel.
And I do want to comment on what Sunny is saying there too, because there's a huge difference between what Sunny does and what I've seen other content creators do. Sunny is giving us an opportunity to hear Daniel answer questions that we've all got. But Sunny is not sitting there through this live stream and demanding that we believe Daniel. She's not sitting there and trying to make us feel guilty if we don't believe Daniel. She's not suggesting in any way whatsoever that we're supposed to believe this stuff. It's when you have a content creator who supports someone or brings someone on and they really shove it down your throat, essentially, where you have to believe this person because this is the truth, and if you don't believe it, then there's something wrong with you. That's what I can't stomach. What I like is this sort of thing, and she doesn't rage bait either. Yeah. The way Sunny does this, I mean, she's been online for, I think, 5 years now. She's no novice, that's for sure. Yeah, this is the first case I've covered that I've been covering it and Sunny's been covering it. I've kind of followed her channel a bit here and there before this case. But, my focus for the last 3-4 years has been like predominantly Kylie Rodney, Maddie Soto, and now Lily and Jack. So before Lily and Jack, I hadn't really listened to much of Sunny's content. But I get it. She really knows how to handle people. She knows how to get the questions, the right answers from things. Yeah, she goes off at a tangent sometimes. And then that can be, but, she's great. Sunny lives in your area, Kim. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I think sometimes she kind of misses bits in terms of, because she works and then also occasionally does her live, or mostly does her live streams, she doesn't have as much time to listen to the other chatter. So sometimes she takes things as being gospel when they're not. But that's more of that she just doesn't have the time to dig into these things. But I have huge respect for the way Sunny does her interviews and things like that. Yeah, sounds like it. I know that apparently Lindsay from the Globe and Mail has been chatting with Malaya for quite some time. I know. Well, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I didn't get squirrelated. Like, hello, every live stream I get squirrelated. The number of times I see there's, a few people that come into the comments section after my live streams and get upset with me because I got off topic. So, I can't really. Yeah, that's my struggle. I can't do long live streams. I must admit, before I had my channel, I used to enjoy hanging out on Squirrels on Fire. Shanda would do like a 4 or 5 hour live stream, but it was more like a social gathering. Like everybody in chat was just chatting with each other and hanging out and, also kind of paying attention to what Shan was talking about as well. But I don't have the time for. Oh dear. Oh, I always feel energized after a live stream because I enjoy the part where I'm actually engaging with chat. And I guess for people who aren't here during the live stream, maybe that makes it frustrating. But it's hard hearing what Sunny is saying often. Yeah, iPads can be funny with sound, that's for sure. Yeah, no, I do enjoy, sometimes I get to the end of the live stream and think, wow, I didn't cover a lot of that audio. But I just enjoy hearing other people's perspectives and being able to actually discuss a case as opposed to me just getting on here and talking. And I think that's what I get out of these live streams. For me, that's the thing that I really enjoy. And yeah, please remember to hit the thumbs up because I definitely need these getting out there in the algorithm. Anyway, go Sunny. I've just got to say that.
Meaning I'm curious about certain questions, like about the kids, for instance. Like, did you mean that the blanket was literally over their heads? Because it's just those little tidbits that you just want to clear up, because it's like, okay, so you didn't actually see them. So that's why when you said, that you saw like that there were underneath their blankets, didn't see their clothes, but you still saw their heads and stuff. But it's, I just think that that's just ridiculous when people are like, oh yeah, are you buying all Daniel's stuff that he's telling you and stuff like that? No, as far as I'm concerned, it's still about Jack and Lily and the truth, regardless if Daniel was speaking from the start or not. It kept the case out in the forefront. Absolutely. Trust me. If it wasn't for the drama that happened, this case would be very little thought about on the internet that much.
The point that Belinda made the other day is that the mainstream media are not talking about this case very much at all. 64 in the house and only 35 likes. Please do hit the like, people. It really does help my channel out. That's the thing. As much as we get frustrated with Daniel, having him come out and talk so we can laugh at him keeps Lily and Jack's case out there. And it's not just about the whole thing of the mainstream media are not talking about it enough, but the other side of it is that you've got a lot of channels who have just kind of brushed it off because it's a Canadian case. I see this, it's the same with Australian cases. There are some content creators who they know that they're going to get more views covering American cases because that's where the bulk of the viewers are. So, Canadian cases, Australian cases don't get a lot of attention because a lot of content creators go, oh, that's only in Canada, so let's not worry about that. Or that's only in Australia. I think about Phoebe Bishop's case last year. That would have been massive had that happened in the United States. Jack and Lilly, this would have been like totally viral had this been in the United States, in my opinion. And love to all my American viewers. I'm not having a go at Americans. I'm just stating the fact that there are a lot of American channels who will not look beyond their own borders at other cases. And on that note, I do feel that I neglect cases from the UK, like England and stuff. So please, if there's any viewers out there from the UK who have any cases that they do think need attention, please do let me know. Because, you know, I try to focus on Australian cases when I can. I really keep focusing on Lily and Jack, but I'm very much aware that there's got to be cases that aren't getting attention in the UK right now. So feel free, anyone in the UK, to email me, let me know if there's any cases that you think need attention, because, you know, that's what I'm here for. Anyway, a little bit more of this. I know, I wish we had an update on poor little Gus. Jack O'Sullivan. Have you told me that one before? Can you email me a link with some media or something? There was another new case from over your way too, Deafening Silence, that's just blown up. But I can't think what it was. It was one of those cases where I was lying in bed late at night and I made a note of it, but I don't know where I made a note. I don't know where I saved the link or anything. But yeah, please, if you can email me some links for that case and any other ones. I'm a bit reluctant to go down the Madeline McCann road. Mike Mex covered Jack O'Sullivan. Oh, cool. I'll have to look at what he's got. Yeah, in terms of Madeline McCann, I know that content creators who have spoken about her case have basically had issues with the parents. I wouldn't mind doing, you know, just a live stream, just going over the case. But I'm not sure if I'd be like doing a long-term deep dive or anything, that's for sure. It's hard. There are so many cases. You know, there's some cases where I'll start talking about them a little bit and then I'm like, I just have to step away because either, you know, there's too much drama, and with, you know, covering Lily and Jack's case, I can't just be doing another case where there's drama, or but there's too many cases, that's for sure.
No,
Right.
you're completely right. If I would have never
Hang on, I'll run it back a bit.
Jack and Lily. And the truth, regardless if Daniel was speaking from the start or not, it kept the case out in the forefront. Absolutely. Trust me. If it wasn't for the drama that happened, this case would be very little thought about on the internet that much.
No,
right?
you're completely right. If I would have never talked, the public would not know anything, except for the few statements they put out. You would see, oh, they interviewed 106 people. Oh, they have 8,000 videos or pictures of the digitally that they need to go through, or, you know, they brought cadaver dogs on this certain date. If I wouldn't have opened up my mouth and never said anything, and I took the same route that Malaya did or continues to do,
Bad route.
the public wouldn't know anything.
Sadly, that's actually the truth. This case would have fizzled out by June. The only reason Belinda came out was because of Daniel. The only reason Janie came out was because of Daniel. Had he just stayed quiet, we probably would be occasionally going, what happened about those 2 little children that wandered off? Did they find them? Yeah, exactly. This for once. Although, this hasn't come from him. This is something that Belinda spoke about. This is something that we've all spoken about. What did Grover say? All right, yeah, the McCanns, it has been done quite a lot. Well, that's the thing too. Good night, Summer Breeze. Thanks for dropping in. There is so many cases in the US that, yeah, there is going to always be that focus. We have so few ongoing cases right now in Australia. Whereas in the US, you just pick one state and there'd be more cases there than anywhere in Australia, just about. So I get that side of it. Oh no, he needs the attention. And he needs to control the narrative. He needs to be front and center in the hopes that someone's going to feed him back information on the investigation. Good night, Rita. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, it gets wearing sometimes. I have a list of so many cases that I do want to touch on. And then, I keep coming back to Lily and Jack. Yeah. When last time my niece went overseas, I was, checking the travel alerts and stuff like that, and, saying my concerns to my sister and stuff like that, and she was getting really upset with me over it. And I'm like, it's not that I'm trying to be a Debbie Downer. It's just that, when you follow true crime, you do see the world in a different way. It is. Looking at a case here in Australia of a 10-year-old girl who's missing at the moment in South Australia. And basically she's gone off somewhere on herself. Like, she's essentially a runaway, but as a 10-year-old, doesn't have the ability to keep herself safe, doesn't have the ability to judge situations safely. And this is what our world looks like. When you have this 13-year-old girl over here in Victoria who gets killed by a 16-year-old boy. Yeah. Me too, Carla. I just, you hear things too often that I think, wow, how did we get there? And the thing that worries me the most is the escalation in crimes that are results that are the result of drug use. It just keeps escalating. And I'm thinking, is there going to be an end to that? I agree. And that is a part of it, because community, losing my words now, community has become so isolated. It's not like the old days of, cousins all growing up together and, living a few doors down from each other, and people living only a few blocks from grandparents and things like that. The family unit has become so much more isolated, and there's so much less of that support happening. But there's also this, and it disturbs me when I go through, like if I'm lying in TikTok overnight and flicking through things, it disturbs me the number of people that are putting posts out that are normalizing selfishness. People putting posts out and saying, yeah, it's okay if you see a friend in need and you just decide that that's too draining on you, so you're just going to walk away and ignore them. I'm like, how did we get there? Like, how is it that suddenly people can publicly say it's okay? Now, it is okay to put yourself first. You do need to put yourself first. But when did it become okay to be so self-centered that it's suddenly normalized to turn your back on someone in crisis because that's too hard on you? Yep, that's the thing. I grew up, grandma was within walking distance of our house. My cousins were 5-minute drive away. I was participating in so many things outside of school. And, when we were growing up, we went to church and did Sunday school and stuff like that. It was at least once a week we were going to Nan's place, and, Nan was putting on a whole spread for us. And I don't know how often we were going to Grandma's place because she was only just down the road. And it just seems there's this real isolation going on. Oh yeah, and admittedly, that is true, and we are becoming more aware of these things. So it suddenly seems like there's more of it, because it used to just be hidden in the background. But yeah, I know it's I've kind of turned it into a downer, isn't it? But I just wish people could see other people more. Like open their eyes and look beyond their own little circle. Welcome in, Bonsa. Good to see you here. I've just kind of completely shot everyone down to misery right now. I think we need, what do we need? This is what we need.
toward another. Told the bad boy come right over. Left both doors open wide. He said you best be armed, I'm coming inside. I grabbed my QQ and some Merlot. Called my husband, said here we go. Message detectives on my phone. The bad guys coming, I'm not alone. They're chasing me down the road, doing 140 in my Mercedes load. Call 911, but they're too slow. Gotta reach the cops before they know. 6 police cars on my face. Ski mask dude in a Honda Chase. I'll race them all with my V8 while calling Ralph, don't make me wait. He said slow down, I said no way. These hillbillies want me today. Pulled up to the station gate. The cops just stared and made me wait. They're chasing me down the road, doing 140 in my Mercedes load. Called 911, but there's a flood. Gotta reach the cops before they know. Met detectives at Tim Hortons, played the tape of all his warnings. Mad Dog said you did just right, while 9 more crates come out at night. Husband told him I'm not crazy, sent the cops home being lazy. Tomorrow getting faster wheels for when more villains chase my steel. They're chasing me down the road, doing 140 Mercedes load. Called 911, but they're too slow. Gotta reach the cops before they know.
Okay, that's lightened the mood a bit. Always fun to laugh at someone else, hey? Yeah, I'm with you, Carla, 100%. You know, I always make it clear for people, I'm here 24 hours a day. You know, if you need someone to email, if you need someone to message, I mean, I don't sleep, so you know, I'm the ideal person. So, you know, I'd like to see more people kind of. You did send me the bird flu video. That was hilarious, and I didn't get around to putting it onto my MacBook. It's been pouring with rain since early hours of the morning, and I got up this morning and I was just kind of like, I just don't want to do the world today, so I was not even organized. Oh, that's an interesting one. So like GoFundMe, but for professionals to donate their time. That's a really good idea. I like that. Again, it's a conspiracy with this program that I use. There's a few times when I just really have to go back and tell it to do it again because I'm just not happy with it. There were ones, I had ones that other people, like images of Scamnita that other people had created and sent to me, and I'm like, I can't use them because they just actually make her look even better. It is so frustrating when this AI thing seems to want to make everyone look super glamorous. Not all of them. I wonder if I've got oh no, sleep. What a joke. Oh, it's insane. Who needs sleep? So long as you've got someone, you know, to send you the occasional TikTok while you're lying there in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, who needs sleep? Anyway, I do want to push on with a little bit more of this. I know I've been going for 2 hours, but I just want to do a little bit more. I've covered a bit, I guess, but I kind of want to get past this whole awareness thing. Thanks for the jewels, Carrie. It is a great idea that what Women's Warrior is doing, and I think it's thank you again for the jewels, very much appreciated. What I would like to see also is a network of people who can support, like, what's the word? Can't even think of the words now. Advocates for people who, a network of people who can advocate for people like Belinda, like Dom, but, people that are not doing it just for some organisation to, get funding from the government and keep this organisation going, but people who genuinely know how to navigate this whole true crime world and can advocate for family members and, help them not fall into that big mine that so many fall into, where they're suddenly being attacked by people, all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that very well, but I see this with so many cases, the lack of advocacy for family members. I mean, I look at early on when Belinda came out and like being pulled in every direction. And that's the sort of thing, just to help with mental health and to help with navigating it all so that people aren't being just stretched beyond their limits from being thrown into something like this when they, didn't choose to be. But I don't know what that would look like or how that would work, but,
But I couldn't just not speak out. It's just not in me. It's always in me to do the right thing. And the right thing is speaking out because no one else will.
Bullcrap, Daniel. I couldn't just not speak out. Daniel, you couldn't not speak out because you are a narcissist and you need to control the narrative. It's got nothing to do with doing the right thing. Yeah, there must be a family lawyer in Nova Scotia who can step up to the mark. It amazes me. I was very surprised to hear that too. I mean, at least Belinda's not out in the cold, but I was quite surprised. I know. Oh, I couldn't just not speak out. It's just not in me yet, Daniel. You wouldn't know how to keep your mouth closed. Put him under 6 foot of water and his survival just depends on keeping his mouth closed. He would still open his mouth. Yeah. Duct tape cannot stop Daniel from speaking out. Apparently not, Hemi. She's spoken to some lawyers, hasn't found anyone yet. So, we can cross our fingers. That pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? He's such a tool.
As I said before, the only one that will speak out is Belinda, that was close to the kids. And I seen it as my duty and my right to Lily and Jack is speak out raise as much awareness as I can, and find Lily and Jack, because that's what it was always about.
You don't need to really search or find Lily and Jack, Daniel. You just need to tell us where they are. Because I am 100% certain that he knows where they are. You know, does he think people are really going to believe this bullcrap? Oh, it's my duty to, my right to speak out and raise awareness. So when are you going to start doing that, Daniel? When I know it's actually kind of infuriating to hear him say that. Because when does he ever? He barely mentions their names. This is probably 2 hours into the live stream. And all he's doing here, he's still not. This is not him advocating for Lily and Jack. This is him putting himself on a pedestal. Look at me, I'm the hero. Still, it's got nothing to do with Lily and Jack. Yep. Give us a map, Danny boy. We'll go find them for you. Exactly. No rights whatsoever. No right whatsoever. Yeah, they're his property. What he actually means there is that it's his right to control the narrative, because he's the one that's got the most to lose. Cool, thanks for dropping in, Bonza. It gets better. I'm glad I kept going for this bit because this is just hilarious.
It's not about me. It's not about Malaya. And I think the public needs to just sit down and analyze everything I've said, analyze all the data, analyze the whole situation as a whole, and formulate your opinions on that, and formulate a perspective, and come in from a new angle where it provides some type of clarity. And things right now over the last year are not clear. And I understand that. But it's our duty as people not to blame. And
oh my God. Yep. Good on you, Daniel. So we need to sit down and we need to analyze everything he's said. Thanks for the permission, Daniel. It's good to know that you agree that we do need to analyze everything you've said. Oh, yeah. Yep, exactly. Oh, dear. Unreal. I just wonder what goes on in his brain sometimes. Because he hit the line. It's our duty as people not to blame. So it's again doing the don't look at me, I'm a good person, look the other way. The problem is this is his story, this is his narrative, his argument that he put out in the early days of the case before people knew the other details of the case. He doesn't realize it's not going to work anymore because we know too much now to be hoodwinked by his bullshit. Is he delusional, or does he just think we're all a bunch of half-wits? Because I can't figure out which it is. Like, what is going on in his head when he says this sort of stuff? probably not a lot really, but the public needs to just sit down and analyze everything I've said. Yep. Yep, me too. I would pay more than you. I would bid higher. Yeah. Oh, geez. There you go. That's how we could raise money for a lawyer for Belinda. Let's have a dunk Daniel tank. He does, or he just thinks he's so good at coming out with this BS that we're all going to believe it. So apparently we have to formulate a perspective and come in from a new angle where it provides some type of clarity. Well, I've come at this from so many angles, Daniel. And every time I get clarity, and the clarity lands back on you. Like, yep, he is 100%, he's a narcissist. Oh, God, yeah. The internal narrative. Okay, got to sound smart, got to choose another big word. Yep, got to make sure they hear me being helpful. Got to try and remember to mention Lily and Jack, because, you know, I keep forgetting them. He's just... Oh, my gosh. I just realised that this just keeps... Yeah, bidding war for dunking... I'm going for dunking Daniel, but a bidding war for all these things, for the pushing, for the... Oh, dear. It's just insane. Does he believe himself? Or does he just think we're really that dumb? Do you think I can put that up? Yep. Proceeds will quadruple Belinda's fund. That's for sure. That is for sure. Oh my gosh. So true. It's a shame we can't do something like that on YouTube, but I'm pretty certain that YouTube would shut something like that down pretty damn quickly. But, you know. Oh, I think that's probably a good note to end on, because when I look at this, actually, this goes on for quite a while. I should have actually realized that when Daniel starts talking about Daniel, he's not going to stop in a hurry. So I think I'll come back to Daniel talking about Daniel tomorrow. Also, because my stomach has suddenly decided it's lunchtime. So I think I'm in favour of going and getting myself something yummy for lunch and just not thinking about Daniel for a while. So on that note, thank you everyone for coming in. Please remember to hit the like button on the way out, because that really does help my channel out a lot. And of course, if you're listening on replay, please leave a comment. I appreciate the comments. They help me get this into the algorithm. If you haven't gone and had a look at my latest analyses on Malaya, go and check that out too, because you might find it educational. No bathroom breaks this time, because he got so distracted by talking about himself. Yeah, he should have been dunked well before. He should have been dunked before the 1 hour mark. Oh my gosh, that sounds so delicious. Cheesy burger with caramelized caramelized onions on rosemary toast. I haven't even thought about what I want, but I'm going to have something yummy. I'm going to treat myself to something yummy. I'll, cook myself something nice. Anyway, on that note, thanks for coming in, and I'll catch you all in the next one.